to episode 80 of the SNDP Podcast Show. Dan, what's up this week?
Not much. How's it going? Football is getting closer and closer. Week 1 of the preseason was in the books. Giants, I know. I can't contain myself.
Super Bowl champs.
Super Bowl champs doing it. And all kidding aside, the running game looks good. Rashad Jennings.
That was a hole bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, we haven't seen blocking out of that in a couple years, so that's good to see. You know he's my boy, and you know Andre Williams is my boy. So, with all that being said, I'm excited about the running game. Gotta get Eli going against the Colts, Jets, and I know he doesn't play against the Patriots. To be ready to go against Detroit on Monday Night Football to open up the season and have a complete redemption of this season, last season. I think the Giants are going to be better this year. I know Dan's, here we go again. Dan thinks the Giants are going to be awesome like always. The one thing I do, watching and reading and tweeting and all that other fun social media stuff, the one thing that I have not seen this Giant team do in ages is them being a team. Especially last year, it was just a disaster. It seemed like 53 players were on their own game. 2 players here and there would take care of their business. This camp, everybody's having fun. Everybody's getting work done. Defense is playing amazing. The whole defense is one unit, and they're having fun doing it. I know, Steve, you're not really in the full swing of football yet, but you're slowly getting there. This is where you normally get into it. But for me, I've noticed it this year. And Antro, Roll, Eason, DB, the rest of the DB core, the linebackers, APP, whole defense. It feels like a new team is rejuvenating. And the minute the offense starts clicking, this team is going to be fun to watch. And I can't wait. Can't wait for everybody else to see how contagious the rest of the team can be when the season starts. I know it could be all great. We're 2-0 in the preseason. That doesn't mean anything. But for the players, a lot of it means a lot because a lot of players are not going to be on the team. For example, Washington, who is from a small town, who's 6'4", and he's playing himself onto the roster. And you enjoy watching those players, especially like a Victor Cruz type that happens so often. I'm not saying Washington is the next Victor Cruz, but you can see it's awesome to see players like that maybe making a team and might make an impact. He was with the first teamers the other day, and he actually played pretty well. So let's see what happens with the players like that and other bubble players. And I'm excited, Steve. I really am excited for the season. I just love the camaraderie and everything else that's going on with them. So I'm excited.
I am excited. But this week we have a very important episode.
Yes, we do.
This week's show is for ALS. Everybody, as you've been seeing on social media, has been doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. As you can, if you would like to, you can go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SNDSportsblog. You can go to our Twitter page at SND_sportsblog. You will see that Dan and I, it's also on our YouTube page, SND Podcast. Dan and I actually did the Ice Bucket Challenge right before we recorded.
It was actually the second time we did it, but this time as a team. So it was great to do it.
Great cause. But don't just do the bucket challenge. Yeah. Donate money.
Donate money if you have the money. Donate money. I know a lot of people are getting flack. Oh, are they really? I like how everybody's doing it because to get the notoriety, and make sure you do the right hashtags. That's how the awareness gets noticed. I know I see some people on Facebook saying some people were just carrying, but that's just the world. But I know for the most part, everybody's doing it. It's taken the world by storm, especially on social media. Just today, they had a local Cortland Fire Department spray water on the whole team, so that was cool to see as well. But there will be $2 every listen for this week's show, especially for this great cause. As always,
we're gonna do $2,
and we always donate for every great cause. So we know this is obviously a legit cause.
$2 for every listen. And also, we're going to throw in $1 for every view of the Ice Bucket Challenge we get.
Okay.
For the next week. By the time we get to show 81.
Definitely.
Show 81, we will announce the official amount that we will donate. If you would like to donate, of course, through us, we're actually donating through Team Gleason. Mm-hmm. In case anybody knows, Steve Gleason, former of the New Orleans Saints, actually had one of the most memorable Saint moments of all time, besides winning a Super Bowl. And he blocked the punt in the first game back at the Superdome.
Yeah, the first game back after Katrina.
After Katrina, he's the one who blocked the punt. He has been diagnosed with ALS, and actually if you could find the video, there's a great story behind him with Pearl Jam from ESPN. Team Gleason, So we will be donating to them the money that we raise. So listen, share the show with your friends, share the Ice Bucket Challenge. $1 for every view on the Bucket Challenge we get, and $2 for every listen. It will be on the Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube. So make sure you listen up.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, just so everybody does know, we are having Adam Rank on tonight, one of our people we challenged. We also challenged Triple H of the WWE and Stephanie McMahon of WWE due to the fact that we do talk some wrestling on here, and also because this week is one of their biggest pay-per-views of SummerSlam, which we will get into with Adam Rank a little later.
And we'll give our predictions as well at the end of the show as well.
Well, with that being said, let's go listen to more Submission by Division 1.1. This is episode 80. Dan, we made 80 episodes.
Cruising into episode 80.
I like that. That was good.
That was good. All right, cool.
That was good.
I figured you like that.
We don't have to edit that part out.
No, wait.
Here's some more Division 1.1, and we'll be right back.
Here of NFL.com and the NFL Network. You're listening to the SND podcast. And lo and behold, I know two Giants fans. I'm totally remiss. I apologize. And please keep listening.
Welcome back to episode number 80 of the SND podcast show. This show is dedicated to ALS. Yep. Once again, we will be donating to Team Gleason for all the views. $2 for every view we get of this week's show. And right now, we would like to welcome in, we don't even have to go through the list anymore of everything he's on. We'll go on it later. Welcome back, Adam Rank.
Hey, Adam, how's it going tonight?
What's up, guys? Are you guys really donating? Because I see every time I see somebody doing one of those Ice Bucket Challenge things, I feel like nobody's donating the money. I just think it's a cool idea. No, I'm not saying that you guys aren't, but don't you get a feeling like, do you really think like Rogo is sitting there donating money and being like, oh, yeah, I'm totally doing it, or anybody else who's doing it? You're like, it's fun. I'm throwing ice water over my head. But it is a worthwhile charity. It's one I want to be involved in at some point. But, I don't know if you ever see, if my sleeve gets pulled up enough when I'm doing my stuff. I got a breast cancer awareness wristband. One of my good friends has breast cancer. So, and D'Angelo Williams, he lost his mother for breast cancer, so I got that one going. I got the purple one for Alzheimer's research, and we're going to be doing an Alzheimer's walk in California sometime in November. My grandmother-in-law has Alzheimer's, so I'm dealing with that. But I have a Wounded Warrior one because my nephew, the one who helped me choose the Chicago Bears, who's my new team, he's in the Army, so, I want to support the troops that way. So I got like a full wristband of stuff going forward, but I do, the ALS one is very scary, and it's worthwhile, so I'm glad you guys did it. That's very cool. So I got to go out and do my own challenge now?
So, as Adam is mentioning, the Ice Bucket Challenge, Dan and I actually, before we started recording tonight, decided to do our own of the Ice Bucket Challenge, and we actually challenged, one of the 4 people we challenged was Adam Rank. The video will be on YouTube shortly, so everyone can see Dan and I pour the bucket of water on ice water on our heads. And yes,
was there ice in it? Wait, was there ice?
Yes, you will watch us put ice in
guys.
Yeah, I got clobbered with ice.
All right, because I've seen a lot of these without ice.
Like my girlfriend.
Or just water. It's the tepid water challenge.
Right.
Like, I don't want to call anybody out, but there are a couple of coaches and commissioners who were doing it, and I didn't see the ice falling to the ground.
And yes, we are donating money as well, like everybody else should as also. We're not just pouring water on our heads.
All right.
So, yeah, we're taking care of it since we know how serious ALS and a.k.a. Lou Gehrig's disease is. Rank, last time we talked, we had the Stanley Cup going on. Congratulations to your LA Kings.
Is this my first chance to gloat?
This is your
about
first.
The LA Kings' utter domination of the Rangers?
Yes, it was. Congrats. Too bad you are not coming to New York anytime soon. I
know, not even for the draft next year. That's a bit of a drag.
Maybe next year for WrestleMania, you hook us up with your NFL salary and we go to WrestleMania in San Fran.
Oh, you think that's good? Dude, I don't get paid. Like Gary Barnidge had to take me to WrestleMania this year.
I don't. Go on.
I know. I'm like, I don't get a lot of money here. They, it's one of those situations where like, you must love working for the NFL, and you're like, yeah, I must really. because I'm not getting paid like it, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, listen, my wife eats, she has a roof over her head, so it's good, it's comfortable, but it's not like WrestleMania money. Jeez Louise, I got to beg a player to take me. Actually, that reminds me, I need to start working on that too. I'm not even going to SummerSlam.
Oh, that was
and
my
it's
next
right
question.
Around the corner.
Next year, if it is in LA, because it always seems to always be in the Staples Center, next year definitely going to beat you up with that.
Yeah, it's a fun event. Like, it's cool to go to the access stuff and things before that, but man, I don't know, because I've got nieces and nephews who like to go to wrestling and everything like that. I always like to go to the house shows. You get longer matches. It's a lot more fun. The thing about the house shows is because I always root for the heels, so they always lose in house shows because it's just not. You don't want to send the crowd home upset like you can at a Raw or a pay-per-view or anything like that. But it's always like they're fun. They're a lot more animated and interactive, and they're longer matches. But it's like, my favorite guys always seem to lose. But if you guys come out for SummerSlam next year, I guess I could figure out a way to make that happen.
I'm sorry. Whatever. Anyway, Rank. So since we are talking about wrestling first. SummerSlam's coming up this weekend. Obviously, you got to pay the $9.99. What's your thoughts on the upcoming pay-per-view, real quick? Not in Rank long-term version.
What does that mean? What do you mean? Not in my what? My long-term what?
Not in your tangents.
Not in a tangent?
Yes.
I don't even know what that means. I'm trying to answer the question the best that I can.
How about this? Let's go not match for match. We'll pick 4 matches, and we want your predictions on them. All
okay.
Right? And we're going to post it on our Twitter page for everybody to see.
All right.
All right. So let's start with the Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins match.
Dean Ambrose.
I agree.
Okay. Randy Orton and Roman Reigns.
I think Randall does it, but Roman Reigns is...
Yeah, I see Randy Orton winning that one.
I don't know. Roman is not there yet. Give it a few more months, and then he'll start winning like Daniel Bryan did.
Can I intercede, though, with this, the notion that Roman Reigns isn't ready? Like, when Batista was coming up, he clearly wasn't ready. But when you do things like that, where you go out and you're like, oh, this guy's not ready to wear the belt, realize it's a prop on a television show, and its whole purpose is to help people become more familiar and more popular with the crowd. And Roman Reigns was at his absolute zenith when the Shield broke up, and then they just kind of wasted it. Why? Who cares? If he would have been champion, it would have been fine, because Cena versus Brock Lesnar, because they had that match 2 years ago. It doesn't need to be for the belt. Like, they could have fought, and it would have been intriguing anyways. And then Roman Reigns could have fought Randy Orton again for the championship on the undercard. Because when Punk was champion for 400-plus days, he wasn't always the top of the card, and it still works fine. Like, Cena doesn't need to be champion, but whatever. I was ready for it. And now I feel like they've kind of ruined him. Because, like, it's just... He could win eventually, but nobody's really clamoring for it anymore.
Alrighty. Next match will be the Brie Bella versus Stephanie.
I guess Stephanie wins that.
You would think if she she does all the work.
Yeah.
Yes, Steph's probably going to win. How dark are they going with the whole Daniel Bryan cheating on Brie Bella? It's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's a little bit ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
I don't...
Like, okay.
You're like, oh, that's weird. Like, yeah, that's an interesting turn. But then again, Triple H once, simulated sex with a corpse on Raw, so I'm not really blown away by anything.
Valid.
Alrighty. And, of course, the main event. Cena versus Lesnar. Who goes into Night of Champions in September as the champion?
It will be John Cena.
Oh, no.
You know what? Here's the most disappointing thing about that whole the whole build-up is that going into WrestleMania, like, nobody took Brock Lesnar serious or, like, whatever. Like, every time Paul Heyman put on a great promo or anything like that, you'd just make a wanking motion and be like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, Undertaker's going 22-0. We don't care. This is going to be a blow-off match. Nobody's going to give a care at all. And now we have all these compelling promos from Paul Heyman. He's making legitimate points in real newspapers about, like, yeah, if you have a champion who only defends it 4 times a year, it's very special and it's amazing and it adds prestige. And Brock Lesnar won and he beat The Undertaker and all that stuff, to where you start thinking, you know what? He's right. Like, I totally buy this. I buy Brock Lesnar winning. And then we're all going to be disappointed when Cena overcomes the odds and wins like he always does. Maybe he'll put a fireman's carry on 3 guys to land on top of Brock Lesnar and do his stupid little moveset and then go on and win. And then we'll all be super, super pissed about it, which is what I'm anticipating.
Yeah, I think Brock, I know it's been since WrestleMania, but the high that beating The Undertaker in the streak, it just would be really stupid for him to lose his next match. Because that would be all for nothing for him being Undertaker. Speaking of that, you were at WrestleMania 30. Were you one of those people? We didn't get a crowd shot of Adam Rank. Were you one of those people shocked? Or since you're such a big heel guy that when Brock Lesnar won, you were just like, oh my God, like Paul Heyman?
You want to know a story? What happened there? Because I was sitting in the 5th row, and of course, not on my own dime. The NFL and Gary Barnage and D'Angelo Williams were kind enough to take me down there. So I'm hanging out, and this guy comes down and he's talking. The seats were empty next to me, and then he sits down, and I'm like, oh, okay. And this guy, so come to find out, it's The Undertaker's manager. And so, he's talking to some people and he's engaging and he'll, listen to whoever. And so finally I just leaned over and asked him, like, hey, so what's the deal? Like, is he going to go 25-0 and then, like, I don't know, John Cena beats him or something like that? And he goes, listen, he wanted to lose a couple of years ago. Like, he doesn't even care about the streak and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. I go, is he losing tonight? Is this why you're sitting here? And the guy didn't say anything, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, he just spoiled the match for me. So I was kind of anticipating it, although, in fairness, it still was shocking, just because the place just went completely silent. Justin Roberts, who sits over there, the ring announcer, he looked like, you could see him and Lillian Garcia looking around and being like, wait, was that supposed to happen? Did the ref make a mistake? Should we not ring the bell? Should we not announce it? And then one of the bookers or managers or whatever yelled out, like, ring the bell. Like, that was it. That's the finish. And so it was still a pretty special thing to be a part of, and it was pretty amazing. But yeah, unfortunately, if I would have thought about it, though, if I would have had the right presence of mind, I would have just sat there like a slack-jawed yokel, so I could have been an internet meme for, the last couple of months.
My real question is, did you nap while he walked to the ring, though? Like, was that the perfect time to nap? Well,
yeah, I know. Like, it took like 30 minutes for him to get out there. It took him 30 minutes to get out of the ring. I don't know if you guys watched the Total Divas show, but they were showing it. I mean, they were showing it because, like, part of last season was about WrestleMania. And they're like, and they showed the girls backstage, like, none of us are getting entrances because that match went long and we all just have to show up in the ring right now. And, of course, the crowd was completely dead.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they were, like, congratulating themselves, like, oh, my God, we helped, we nailed it in that spot. You're like, no, you didn't nail it. Nobody cared, which is unfortunate. No fault of their own, but it was just,
For what I remember, that was a good match.
It was fine. I mean,
it wasn't like, oh my God, like, whatever. But for a Divas match, they've been stepping up their game lately for the Divas division.
Not like they used to. I've been watching on the WWE Network, all like the early 2000 ones. The Stacy Keibler and All those matches, the Braun Penny matches.
Right. Well, we're past the Attitude Era, unfortunately. So yeah, we don't get Stacy Keibler and Trish Stratus.
I miss Trish.
Some of the other young ladies who are in it. But there is some better wrestling. Gosh, if you watch the NXT show,
that's even better than Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, and it's better wrestling, and the divas have real characters. Like Summer Rae is a good character who can actually wrestle, but on Raw she's having a threesome with one of the Matadors because they're pissed at Fandango.
Fandango,
excuse me.
Yeah, we don't want him to come out and yell at you right now.
In his Boston accent.
Yeah.
Anyway, since you are on, we're going to talk a little football.
No. Gotta go.
Football?
Anyway,
Is it that time of the year again?
It's that time of year again. How's your day at work so far today? You ready for a couple of shows?
Yeah, on Wednesdays is when, I don't know if I can pull back the curtain that much and let everybody know that we're taping this on Wednesday. I didn't tape anything on Wednesday. Wednesday's usually my dead day. It's my opportunity to go out and do most of my writing. I do the sleepers and I get the framework of like, dislike together and get some stuff like that popped out and make sure my rankings are copacetic. But, it's still a long day. Get here around 6 a.m. I'll be leaving here around 6 p.m. I know, and I'm not, complaining. I mean, it's I'm writing about fantasy football. It's not like my life is hard or anything. But, doing shows right now in NFL.com, NFL Fantasy Live is on exclusively on NFL.com during the month of August. DirecTV does a buyout. So we're doing those shows. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have structure. It's a lot of fun to have games, and it's a lot of fun to have something tangible to look at and to really watch these guys. We've been talking up dudes like Brandon Cooks and John Brown for months, and now to go out and actually see them on the field performing, it's pretty cool. It is a special time of year. And, baseball, we're getting to the, well, I'm sorry you guys are Mets fans, so you wouldn't know this, but
no.
We're getting towards the pennant race, and the playoffs are coming up.
What is a pennant race?
Yeah, it's when these teams actually go out and compete and put out tangible teams that win games.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You guys win games. We get to watch Bartolo Colon hit.
That's true. I mean, that's the one thing we were robbed as Angel fans, is that we never got a chance to see him swing the bat.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, I don't even know if we had, if he ever hit for us in interleague. I can't remember. I feel like I would have remembered that. I'd be like, yeah. But we used to just play what? We'd play the Dodgers, we'd play the Padres, and then one other team. So it wasn't like we had an extensive interleague schedule back when Bartolo was winning the Cy Young for us.
Yeah. So, all right. So since we know your co-host, co-compadre, Fabiano, we call him the Fantasy Hall of Famer. Not to brag or anything.
He's actually in a Fantasy Hall of Fame.
Is he really?
It's a real thing. It's weird. And then he got mad at me one day because I'm like, when do I find out when I'm in the Hall of Fame? You would figure winning the Experts League 3 out of 4 years would make me a shoo-in,
Yeah.
But
Dynasty.
apparently that's not the case.
So he claims that he's in 10 leagues, which I obviously believe since you guys are working on daily for fantasy stuff. How many leagues are you in? Set aside work / fun and whatever.
Yeah, he's legitimately in 10 leagues. We've got, through work, we've got the Experts League. Mm-hmm. We got a league with NFL Fantasy Live versus NFL AM. Now we have another league with writers versus producers, which is great. Yeah, let's have another work league. Mm-hmm. I do a couple of fan leagues. So I got those 2, so that's 5.
How did I not know about this fan league? I
don't know. You guys were late to the party. That's what happened. And I figured, I did it once. This is I think this is going on to the 4th year or something like that. Damn. And, I started a couple of these. I did one last year that was such a disaster, and thankfully nobody's, emailed me to be like, hey, you're starting this league, because it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't that fun. But these two I have going are pretty good, and, like, nobody wants to leave. Every year I check in, like, everybody's okay with this? They're like, yeah, we're in. So maybe, see, that's the thing. If I would have done another one this year, but then, I get pulled into these work weeks. So I got 5 of those. And then I have my my league with my former compadres at the Orange County Register. Just locked in a league with some other people from my hometown. That's 7. And then I have an 8th, and then my 8th is my league of record with my childhood chums from Corona, California. So 8 is where I'm standing right now. That's decent, right? That's not too bad.
I got 5.
I'm in 5.
Good.
5. So, all right, here's the thing. How many times can you talk about the same fantasy nonsense? How about this? I know you don't want to talk about it. All right. For someone in 8 leagues for you, 5 leagues for me and Steve each, what kind of style do you go? Do you try to pick different players, or you try to pick the same players each team? Or you just like to spread the wealth just in case one team fails disastrously? You get to win money if you're in a money league. I know you're in the NFL, so you're not allowed to talk about that. But if you were playing for cards, for example, well, like, what's your style? Like, because with me, sometimes I tend to go with the same guy because I feel that my team is obviously going to win all the time, but sometimes, like last year, wasn't the case. Like, where do you tend to go?
Yeah, that makes the most sense, right? To keep drafting the same players time and time again. Now, I have one league that's a keeper league, so those players are going to be a little bit different just because when you've picked them up over the course of years and all the things that go into that. So that's going to be a little bit different. But, yeah, I mean, I would feel it's a little disingenuous if somebody's picking, like, if you have every player and you've gone, like, all over the map. Like, let's say, for instance, if you had the number 1 pick in 5 of your leagues, if you had the number 1 pick in 5 of your leagues and you chose 5 different guys or even 3 different guys, I would not respect that at all. I would want you to go all in on the guy you think should be the number 1 player. And, and sometimes there's going to be circumstances that happen to where you're not going to get the top guy. Like, you're probably not going to get Matt Forte in every league, just because it's just not. Actually, yeah, that could happen because he falls in some drafts. But let's say Adrian Peterson, who seems to be like the consensus number 1. So you're not going to get him in every league. So I can understand that. But once you start getting into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you start drafting the same guys. The same guys would be available because at that point in your drafts, you start to forget about average draft position and things like that. You just go for the guys that you like. So I'm with you, man. I play the same guys. Like, I just believe it. Like, I'm not up here. It's not like I just BSing things and saying things just the same. Like, no, I legitimately believe Brandon Cooks is going to be good this year, so I'm going to have Brandon Cooks in the majority of my leagues.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
All right, so I am in 5 leagues, so I do a lot of mock drafts.
I don't.
During the summer.
I go in completely in the dark 9 out of 10 times, other than listening to your podcast. Because I don't know. I know how to draft by now,
Right, yeah. You know who's good and who's not good. Like, yeah, I understand people who do mock drafts because, it's fun. It's something to do. Kill some time. I'm all about it. Actually keeps people on our site for a while, so please go out and do that. But, yeah, I could also just walk. I remember, I used to buy multiple magazines and go in and be like, now I show up with nothing. And I'm like, yeah, just, print out the players for me. But we usually actually have a computer set up when we do our League of Record. So we have a computer, and I just sit there and look. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want this guy, I want that guy. I mean, it's easier for me because it's, sort of my job. But still, yeah, I could subscribe to the no prep, or not necessarily no mock philosophy.
So, I do like to do some mock drafts because, sometimes you just got nothing to do during the day, so you do some mock fantasy football drafts.
I wish we all had that problem.
So, of course, I use NFL.com most often. But
well, that's nice of you.
But I also use this site. It's called Fantasy Football Calculator. And interesting enough about them is that I want to see what your thoughts on this is, Adam. They actually have, as their rankings, their top 4 are McCoy at 1, Charles at 2, Forte at 3, and Peterson at 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in concert with that. Well, not really, but like if you move Forte up to number 1 for me, it would be the same order, because Peterson to me is the 4th guy. He's battled some injuries. He finished 9th or 10th last year in fantasy points. I know he was right there with Chris Johnson. And you look at the other guys, Charles kind of concerns me. I mean, he's a great receiver out of the backfield, so that helps him. But he still lost 3 of his 5 offensive linemen, so that's got to be a concern. Forte and McCoy are going into the second year of, like, high-powered offenses and now have a full grasp of the playbook. The thing I like about Forte that pushes him over the top compared to McCoy is that his offensive weapons around him are better. Like the 2 receivers open things up for him. And his quarterback is better. Now, Nick Foles had a fantastic season, but Jay Cutler is a proven NFL quarterback. He's, I feel he's one of the more underrated guys, and he's going to have a monster season. So I like that one. So I don't disagree with the 4. Disagree a little bit with the order, but I'm down with Adrian Peterson being 4th.
Alrighty. All right.
I wish that happened in my league, since a bunch of my leagues, actually the 4th pick. So that's exactly how I'm feeling, because I'm going to take one draft. I'm going to be 4, and then a few weeks later, I'm going to be 4th there. Pretty much similar leagues, so I'm going to take pretty much the same theory. So, like, I don't know. Are you a PPR guy, or are you a standard league guy? I know I get mixed reactions when I listen to you, either on watching you or listening to you. Like, what's your preferred league? If Adam Rank is the commissioner of that particular league.
Standard leagues, PPR leagues, you're just adding too much misery to you. Like, I would almost lean towards having a touchdown-only league, just because it's, a little bit. I mean, I don't need too much. I don't like fractional points. It's too hipstery for me. It's too, hey, we found this nice gastropub, and I want to show off to everybody how diversified my palate is. So I like to go standard league. I even like, in my league of record, we go standard, we go touchdown passes, or we're 6. And I don't know. I like that the best, but standard's fine too. But PPR, I just usually, I can't be bothered by. Plus, I'm in a PPR league. My keeper league is a PPR league, and it's the only one I've never won. So I hate it. Maybe if I win that one, I'll change my mind.
You know what's funny? I'm actually the opposite.
Yeah,
I always win the PPR leagues. Then when it comes to the standard leagues, I can't even come close to it. I don't know. I don't know. But keeper league, the regular leagues, standard leagues are obviously fun. But it's like, all right. For example, I'm going to throw out the obviously darling of PPR leagues, Wes Welker. I want to get points for a catch sometimes, because sometimes it's just like, okay, you're going to have to get more than 1 yard. I guess you have to earn it more. I guess that's what the deal is. You're actually feeling that you're earning more points. As for the PPR league, all right, great. He caught a ball. I can understand how the line is a little set. Obviously, I think they should kind of make a way swing passes. If it's a 2 yard gain, forget it. But if it's if he earns the yardage, that's just too much, obviously, to ask. But I don't know. I'm actually the opposite. I guess I'm a hipster, and that's the first time ever. First time ever.
A little bit.
So,
all right. Listen, John, I gotta run though. I gotta go to a meeting here.
Ugh.
That's the fun part of this too, is going to meetings, because we got a show tomorrow. So I gotta go. I gotta run. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Well, we got 20 episodes to 100.
All right.
You got 20 weeks.
Cranking them out. You guys are slacking. I feel like the last time I was with you, you're on show 75.
Yeah, we went on vacation, a bunch of us. I went away and he went away, so that's what happened.
Oh, great. Caesar's goal.
Anyway, Rank, thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll talk to you
pleasure.
Off the air, especially during SummerSlam. Hope everything's well.
Yeah, buddy.
Have a great season, and we'll be listening to you, all right?
All right, I'll be talking to you soon.
And if my team stinks, prepare to get if I ask you a question and you give me the wrong answer, it's going to be as bad as you tweeting at Trent Richardson last week.
Perfect.
All right.
That makes absolute sense.
All right, Rank. Be good, bro.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
SND Podcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.
Deny, resist. Deny, resist.
All right, welcome back to the S&D Podcast. You just listened to, once again, Submission by Division 1.1. Once again, thank you, Adam Rank, for coming on, speaking a little football, wrestling for a little bit. It's awesome when we get Rank on because we get a unique perspective on things because we know how much he talks about the everyday football ad nauseum for his job and everything like that. So it's fun for us and him at the same time for getting the other perspective on fantasy sports and everything like that because obviously we would have given the same interview that we hear him on this same podcast on the Demochat podcast and the Fantasy Live podcast and show. So different perspective out of Rank. So that's pretty cool to see because if you really wanted to listen to him, you'd be listening to him every day on his shows as well. So thanks again for always coming on, and we appreciate it. And once again, thanks for coming on with us all the time. It's really cool, especially listening to him all the time that he comes on and views a few minutes with us, joking around and everything like that. So I know Steve agrees with that.
Yes, of course.
With that being said, since we didn't really give our predictions for SummerSlam, we're also going to say who we want to win and everything like that. Are you going to watch SummerSlam on Sunday?
Yes and no.
It's going to be in the background if you watch it. If you're not going to be...
It'll be on the app.
It'll be, obviously, it's on the app. But if you were not to watch it, you're not going to be heartbroken. But it'll be on
I'll
the background.
know what happened.
Yeah, it'll be in the background at some point with you. So that's cool. I'm hoping to hang out with my cousin like we normally do. So we'll see what happens with that. So what was the first match we went through with Rank?
Ambrose versus Rollins in the Lumberjack match.
Lumberjack match. All right, we haven't had one of those in a while. So I want to say Ambrose, like I said in the interview, but I'm going to switch my mind, and I'm going to say Seth Rollins is going to stay hot and win it because obviously a couple pay-per-views ago he won Money in the Bank. So, of course, they're going to have that going for a little bit. I think Seth is going to win it, even though because Dean Ambrose has been getting the better of him as of late. So that normally means the other guy wins it.
All right, next match is Randy Orton.
How about you?
Orton. Oh, who do I think is going to win that? I don't think WWE really likes Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, he's more of a underground guy, so it's only a matter of time that's going to happen.
So, unless they decide to bring the Shield back eventually, I don't see him winning big matches, so I'm going to go with Rollins also.
Okay. As awesome as Ambrose is, I just think Rollins. All right, next match. Randy Orton versus the Roman Reigns. All right. Rank said Randall. I'm going to say Randy Orton as well. As much as I love Roman Reigns, I think Randy Orton's going to find a way to get the better of him.
I know you guys both said that they don't think Reigns is quite
quote-unquote
there yet. Yeah. I feel like that it's just a matter of time before
absolutely.
they give him that shot.
Absolutely.
And like most of us know, Brock Lesnar's under one of those contracts of when he wants to wrestle, he wrestles.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So basically how I see it is Brock wants to wrestle at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If Brock didn't want to wrestle,
would have had the shot.
Rollins would have had the shot.
Okay.
With that being said, I also feel like it's just a matter of time before we get the Triple H versus Roman Reigns match.
Oh yeah, that's slowly
everybody wants.
Yeah, they're really loving the whole Triple H, the whole McMahon family versus the Bryan family. I think granted, Daniel Bryan and Triple H are not there, fighting because of Daniel Bryan's injury, but it just happened to work out that way that Brie and Stephanie are taking Reigns over that. So you're right with Roman Reigns. I think it's just a matter of time for him to do it. Like Rank said about Batista, he's 100% right with that. But I don't know. I think they're doing it right this time with Roman Reigns. He's getting that slow cooking for Daniel Bryan. So that's going to be an awesome match. But I think Randy Orton's going to come out on top. We forgot. No match we forgot to ask Rank. Oh, damn. I wanted to see who he thought out of the Chris Jericho-Bray Wyatt match. Because I know he's a big Bray Wyatt fan. Damn.
I think WWE's getting over the whole Bray Wyatt thing.
Honestly, did you watch Raw the other night?
I did. The interview thing.
That interview thing was weird, but it was awesome.
That's what he does.
But that's what's awesome about Bray Wyatt. He is by far the best person on the mic for the WWE right now, other than Chris Jericho, who I'm sure is teaching him along the ropes right now. As much as I love Chris Jericho, I think Bray Wyatt is so over right now. And Chris Jericho's focused on Fozzy. If you listen to his podcast, obviously, you know about that. So I think they're going to put on a great show. I just think Bray is going to take care of business, and everybody's going to follow the buzzers with that. And that's the thing with Bray. He's supposed to be a heel, but you hear during his promos everybody cheering because it's just so dark and awesome. And I think Bray has that.
Alrighty, so the next match, back to the Bryant family, is Stephanie versus Brie Bella. It's basically a Brie Bella for her job match.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm kind of torn. I think I'm going to go Steph, just because Steph's sneaky good in wrestling.
I feel like this is the moment that Daniel Bryan makes his return.
Okay.
I can see that at some point in this match where...
he'll be at ringside.
It's going to work out where he's going to come out, or he'll be at ringside like you said, and Triple H will be there, and then they're going to start fighting, and it's going to set up for, of course, not Night of Champions, because that's all about the belts, but there is a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up.
Yeah, a month after.
In October. So I can see those two possibly going in a let's end it now Hell in the Cell match.
That'd be cool.
It all depends on, of course, his health,
neck, yeah.
if they allow it. I'm going to go with Stephanie in this one as well.
That's good to me. I'm going Steph, as you just mentioned.
You know what I can see happening?
What?
Triple H not coming down to the ring, with Daniel Bryan being down at the ring.
Yeah.
And then, middle of the match, the physical therapist comes out with Triple H, shacks Brie Bella, and ends the match right there.
Gotcha. Okay, what's next?
Cena versus Lesnar.
As much as a Heyman guy I am, and love Lesnar, he's just so badass. I love it. I gotta go with Lesnar. Cena's gonna put on a hell of a show like always. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that, but Cena's gonna put on a sick show with Brock. Brock is just so awesome. He's just a ass kicker. I know that's funny hearing a wrestling fan say that because we all know it's fake, but he is an ass kicker, and I see him especially after being Undertaker. That was his last match. I don't see him losing, and there's going to be a new belt coming out on that for the match. So they like to put it on new guys when there's a new belt popping out. For example, The Rock. Was the last time that the current belt, The Rock was the champion going into WrestleMania, Cena won it. So I see Brock winning it, and it's I don't know. I can't see Brock losing anytime soon, especially taking the streak, because if it would look really stupid, like I said before in the interview with Frank, it would be really stupid for him to break the streak in the very next match, lose right away. Granted, it's John Cena, but it would be really stupid, and I'm going to go with Brock.
I'm actually going to go with Lesnar as well.
And this is not a hating on Cena thing. I just think it's logical. You know what I mean? It's not a hate on Cena. It obviously Cena's what Cena is. He's carried the business for the last decade and a half. But it's just you can't have Brock Lesnar lose right after beating The Undertaker in April against the Streak, because that was the most sacred thing in the business for the last 21 years, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't see it. It'd be all for nothing, essentially, because obviously when you beat The Undertaker 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna fight for the title. That's how it always was, kind of thing. So I see him winning, without a doubt. But it's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view. A lot of solid matchups. A lot of the coming home show on Monday night was really good. So I'm excited for it.
Back to the Lesnar-Cena match, I actually find it interesting that I do feel like he's going to win Lesnar. Like we mentioned, he has that contract.
Yeah, the crappy contract, but there's enough guys under the undercard that...
but a Night of Champions, you have every belt on the line. So he's got to fight in that crappy paper, which isn't a high top of the line.
I know.
If he wins that match. Then he's got to fight in the Hell in the Cell, which of course you want him in the Hell in the Cell match, because
it's
with the way he is.
Things. Maybe him winning the title changed his mind on certain things, so it's a double-edged sword. But I see him winning. I don't know. I have that thought in my head. That being said, that's our pay-per-view preview. With that, how about the Knicks? The schedule finally came out. Who cares about it from 90% of the time? It's going to be great to see the home opener against the Chicago Bulls, and then the next night they go to Cleveland, which is normally not a fun place for Knicks fans and the Knicks to watch the Knicks play, because they tend to lose there. They're playing LeBron, the second game of the season there. So that should be
and it's also his first home game.
Oh my God, we're losing that game. So that's going to be an ugly night.
All right, fine. You already know they're going to lose. Over under 30.
Under.
Okay, over under 20.
Under. They'll lose by 10.
You don't think 15?
No, I'll
Between 10 and 15, I
yeah.
can say. Over under of 50 points for LeBron.
Especially with skinny Melo, which is kind of scary. Like, it looks like he hasn't eaten in like a couple months. Good for him. Hopefully this gets him motivated for the season. I love the Dark.
Hopefully it helps him last the whole season.
Yeah, I love the Dark Fisher coaching signing. And I'm excited for this year's Knicks team. It's going to be different. You can tell that Bill Jackson is slowly getting molding of the team, so that's exciting, to say the very least. So that's that. Mets and Yankees, they're both playing 500 ball right now, like we've been seeing. Mets are at least, I know it's easy for a Mets fan to say, but they're actually playing, for the Mets standard, decently. Of course, they'll have had their moments of crappiness, but overall they played pretty decently as of late, like we mentioned last week. They've had their moments, great and bad, so congratulations for them on that. This might actually have him keep Terry Collins to keep his job, like I mentioned last weekend. So let's see what happens. Like I mentioned to Steve and I mentioned to a few other players, the Mets are like, if young guys come, they only really need two to get. The young pitching stays as awesome. So let's hope and pray for that as well. So what do you think about the Mets lately? The Yankees, it's just the Yankees, no timely hitting, and fifth of your opening day starting rotation is out of the lineup.
And Kuroda's missing his next start.
See, okay, so 5 out of 5. Pineda comes back tonight, Wednesday night. See what happens. So, but honestly, it is what it is. Like they're gonna be in a shot. It's gonna be their shot. They have a shot to be in this. They have the shot to be in the wild card, but we'll see what happens.
Mets?
Oh, Yankees.
I was gonna say. Well, technically the Mets are 6 games out.
I have
2 months with a month and a half left.
Yeah, I have.
I wish they would get a brain and just shut the Grom down for the season.
Yeah, that's what should happen, but it ain't gonna happen. That's the Mets.
That would be smart. Safe to say Noah's not being seen this year.
Yeah,
because it's he's only like 20.
Yeah, no, he's very young. So give it time. Hopefully he's coming up start of the season next.
I would say that if he can dominate spring training, he'll make the team.
Yeah.
If he doesn't dominate spring training, he'll start off in AAA again.
Yeah.
And then wait for that. I can still see Matt Motto is
he's
wait for that date.
Yeah, he's not exact. Yeah, well, yeah, that's that. But I don't know. He hasn't exactly put the AAA on fire. So let's see what happens for a while.
So with that being said, SNDPODCAST.com.
Yeah, don't forget to check that out. As always, I'm sure a few articles are going to come out.
Watch our video.
Watch our video. Listen to our podcast. Once again, $3 in total if you watch both. So each view and listen we get, more money could be going to the ALS Gleason Foundation. So be sure to check that out. Listen to our show. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, see you next week.
And thank you, Adam Rank, before we forget.
Once again, thanks, Adam Rank. Enjoy your SummerSlam.
Your summer version of WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much the summer version of WrestleMania. Your SummerSlam, rest of the preseason football, and the rest, the Mets and Yankees. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.